Hi everyone, Geek37 back with another video, and this is part 15 in my Exploring the Heptagonal Triangle series. We're going to do some more calculations with the different trig ratios for pi over 7, 2 pi over 7, and 4 pi over 7. Remember that the heptagonal triangle has those angle measurements, and that side A is opposite pi over 7, side B is opposite 2 pi over 7, and side C is opposite 4 pi over 7. Now, as you can see, we also have 3 pi over 7 on the screen. That comes up more in the regular heptagon, but remember that the heptagonal triangle is within the regular heptagon, so studying that triangle is also studying the regular shape as well. What we're going to start out with is we're going to write down the trig ratios of the tangent ratios for the heptagonal triangle. So we got a squared over rb for the tangent of pi over 7, b squared over cr for 2 pi over 7, and negative c squared over RA for 4 pi over 7. Remember, 4 pi over 7 is obtuse. Therefore, the tangent of an obtuse angle will be negative because it's not between 0 and pi over 2. And this is a very straightforward calculation. You just can cancel the b's, get a b up top, cancel the c's, get a c up top, can cancel the a's, and get an a up top. And you're going to get negative abc over r cubed. Now remember, this had a nice relationship. The product of the three sides equaled the square root of 7 times the circumradius cubed. Now the circumradius is the radius of the circle that goes around the heptagonal triangle and the regular heptagon itself. And it is responsible, it pops up with the sign ratios. You can cancel off the r cubes and we will get negative pi over 7. So this here is equal to negative pi over 7. So down here, if we were to show, I won't show the calculation here, but remember, the tangent is going to be positive, so therefore the answer here is going to be the square root of 7. I find that quite fascinating. And remember, 3 pi over 7 is between 0 and pi over 2, so it was positive. That's why that square root of 7 is also positive. Now, on the next part down below, I have squared those tangent ratios. And what happens is if you square one side, you must square the other. Therefore, the square root of 7 on the first one, well, that has a negative. So when you square, you multiply the quantity by itself. Two negatives make a positive, and the square roots will cancel. So the answer for that one is 7. And the same is true for the one below. Because it's positive, the square roots will cancel. And that is why the tangent squared of pi over 7, the tangent squared of 2 pi over 7, and the tangent squared of either 3 pi over 7 if it's in the product, or 4 pi over 7 if it's in the product, will yield the same answer of 7 there. Just look at all those 7s. I find that quite fascinating. Okay, on to the next part of the video. All right, now we're doing the products of the three cotangents of the angles. And as I did in my last videos, I said that the cotangent is the reciprocal of the tangent. So basically, we're going to be multiplying the three fractions, but they're going to be inverted. And I'm not going to show the cancellations here. I will let you do that as an exercise, and I'm doing it first due to space and time constraints. But what happens is when you flip those fractions, the answer on the right side of the equation will also get flipped. So the answer for this one will be negative 1 over the square root of 7. But of course, we prefer to rationalize the denominator, so we'll multiply the top and the bottom of that fraction by the square root of 7. So we'll get this. Sorry, everyone, for the technical difficulties there, but as I showed above, we reciprocated the square root of 7, and we or the square root of the negative of square root 7, so we get 1 over the square root of 7 negative, but we rationalize the denominator by multiplying the top and the bottom by the square root of 7, so we're going to get the negative square root of 7 over 7. Now, of course, on the next one, because cotangent, like tangent, is positive in the first quadrant, because 3 pi over 7 is between 0 and pi over 2, this will be the positive version right here. Now, down below, if we squared that, the ratios, we square one side, we square the other. What happens is the square root of 7 over 7, if we squared that, we would get 7 over 49, and that will reduce down to 1/7. Now the reason the first one down below there is positive is because if you take two negatives and you square the amount, the negatives will cancel. So that's why both of those cotangent squared products yield 1/7 as the answer. Okay, now let's move on to the next part of the video. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to investigate the product of the cosecants of the given angles. All right. Now, if you remember, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, and the product of the three sines that I derived in an earlier video came out to be the square root of 7 over 8. And the thing was, because of 3 pi over 7 being equal to 4 pi over 7, because sine is positive from 0 to pi radians, the product of those three sines, pi over 7 and 2 pi over 7, sorry again for technical difficulties, what happens is we can reciprocate the sines because the cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so we can reciprocate the answer on both and get 8 over the square root of 7. And if we were to rationalize that denominator, we would rationalize that denominator, we get 8 root 7 over 7 for both. Now, down below, we have the squared of the cosecants there. What happens is if we square the fractions up above, we will get the answer of 64 over 7 for, excuse me, not that. Square root of 64 over 7 for both there. All right, now let's move on to the last part of the video where we deal with the secants. All right, everyone. Now we're dealing with the secants of the three angles being multiplied together. Remember that secant is the reciprocal of cosine, and in one of my earlier videos, I derived both of the answers for this. For the cosine of pi over 7, 2 pi over 7, and 4 pi over 7 being multiplied, we got negative 1/8. And because of 3 pi over 7 being between 0 and pi over 2, we got the answer of positive 1/8. And what happens is if we reciprocate those fractions like we've reciprocated before, what will happen is the product of the three secants, including 4 pi over 7 will be negative 8. And the one below it will be positive 8 because of the secant of 3 pi over 7. And now if we squared those, both of those products, we would get an answer of 64. All right. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. I write left-handed, and my board is, if I press on it too much, it causes it to like zoom out, zoom in, all that stuff. So I'm just going to try to edit the video to the best of my ability and get it uploaded. And I hope you still glean something out of it, despite how chaotic this video appeared. I wanted to show you these identities today, and I hope you found them interesting like I did. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. This is Geek37 signing off.